Hi, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jer. The Drag Race Simulator that I posted first just dropped, and I was actually kind of surprised at all the positive feedback towards that. I made it thinking that nobody would really care about it, but I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. And I got a super fun suggestion because I asked y'all what other simulators you would like to see, and one was of a UK All-Stars, but there was a suggestion to maybe put Rose and Camden in there since they also are queens of the UK by technicality. And that got me thinking about a random, I think it was season 13 or 14 of America's Next Top Model, where they did a US versus UK to do a cross-branding. And that competition was quite fun to watch. The camaraderie of both groups is how they worked with each other and also worked against the other team, and how people fell off throughout the competition was quite interesting to watch. And I think with both of these franchises being judged specifically by Ru, it could be quite fun to see what a UK versus US looked like. So today I am going to be running that idea through the simulator. So let's jump into this and let's check out the queens that I've decided to cast for this. And as previous, I will be taking my own notes on the side for how I think the competition would move along. This is going to be a lip sync for your legacy with them choosing someone to go home. And I chose a group of 12. So representing the US, we have Dita Ritz, we have Coco Montrese, Naomi Smalls, Rose, Lady Camden, and Dawn. Now, Dawn might seem like an odd one to put here, but in my opinion, Dawn doesn't seem like a contestant that would ever return for an All-Stars for any reason. She would need a gimmick to bring her back in, is kind of the impression that I get from Dawn. And I think this would be the right gimmick to get her to come back. Representing the UK, we've got Vinegar Strokes, one of my favorites from that original season. I almost put Crystal, but Crystal makes more sense for like a Canada versus the UK. Taste. We have Vanity Milan, who is an international diva at this point, performing not only on UK 3, but also in Canada versus the World, and now in UK versus US. Veronica Green, Caramel, and Kate Butch. So shall we get into this? There is going to be a random queen returning at some point, and it will just be eliminations from start to finish. So let's simulate this bitch. Starting out, our very first challenge is going to be a talent show. And as usual, I'm gonna be skipping the dialogue because a lot of it is so procedurally generated that it doesn't quite make sense. So for a talent show, looking at this group, who I think honestly would excel from the very beginning, would be someone like Naomi, because she understands comedy as well as stage presence and how to do well on Drag Race. So I'm automatically feeling like she would do pretty good. I feel like Vanity would do quite well, and I think Tace and Kate would do well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that the top is going to be Naomi, and we're gonna put Kate up there. And I think honestly the bottoms here would probably be someone like Rose. I can't imagine what she would do, and I also don't really see Veronica doing spectacularly here. The Drag Race Sim says that Kate and Rose are the top. I see it for Kate. I just think she's got something that the judges like. As for Rose being in the top, I personally put her in the bottom because I just didn't know what she would do, but hey, the Drag Race Sim seems to think that she would be the cat's meow, so let's let her have it. Dawn and Vanity are the bottom two of the week. I think for a talent show, it's kind of crazy to suggest that Vanity Milan would not be able to pull something out. But realistically, looking at these two, I think Dawn is the clear out here. But surprisingly, the Drag Race Simulator thinks that Vanity Milan would be first out. What I imagine would happen in this scenario for someone like Vanity, who's been on UK3, has been on Canada versus the World, it's sort of like you've had multiple times to do this in a same way that someone like Mayhem Miller had. So I do understand that. In my universe, I'm gonna say that Veronica would go home for the exact same reason. So in episode 2, we've got a Rusical. Okay, so looking at this group, we've got a lot of musical bitches.
Oh, wait a minute, bitches.
I think, to be fair, it's really quite clear that wait, I just realized that I eliminated Veronica, and the very next week is a Rusical. Oh, that's evil that I did this. I'm gonna say of the girls that are here, I think it would be very clear that Rose would do well. And I see it for Camden. Bottom 2, I would suggest Dawn, but I don't know for certain. I could also see Taste being in the bottom just for consistency from Rats. Even though I hate when it's like, it was in the bottom for this episode and I'm gonna do great this time. Ugh, I can't believe I failed again. I'm so bad in this challenge. I hate that storyline. It's stupid, but I see that happening in this universe. So I'm gonna say that Taste is the bottom, and I'm gonna say Dawn as well. And I think from this group, it would be really hard to eliminate Taste. So it'd be more likely that Dawn would go home. Let's see what BS the Drag Race Sim wants to spit out to me today. It says that Dita and Taste are the top 2. I kind of live for this. Dita being someone who's never done a Rusical, and Taste being someone who flopped her Rusical. I love the redemption arc of that. And just both of them together in the top would be the lip sync of a lifetime. Like, I want to pay money to see that happen. The song is Brutal by Olivia Rodrigo, and it says that Taste wins and eliminates Naomi. Yo. Naomi being out this early doesn't make sense in my mind, but what can we do about it? I think Naomi is such a global superstar. I think there's no universe where Naomi would not make it to the very end. Episode 3 is the Snatch game. Oh, I think this could be a decent enough Snatch game. I think my very clear bottom would be Coco. Her Janet Jackson was crunchy in season 5. And considering that she never got to do one in All Stars 2 to have a redemption arc from that, we don't really know how she would perform, but I don't see it going very well. I think that Taste might also struggle. If I remember correctly, she didn't do spectacularly in her Snatch game, and she kind of lucked out that Lawrence was so much of a bomb and that Tia was such a catastrophic failure. I think that honestly Rosé would do quite well here. And I kind of see it for Vinegar. Why? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe I just want to see her in the top, and so I'm gonna bias myself into putting her there. So I'm gonna say Coco and Taste are the bottoms here. The Sim is saying that Cara and Coco are top 2. I know that this is all done by a computer. These are all random numbers, but Coco being in the top for Snatch Game doesn't totally make sense para mí. And it says that Kate, Rosé, and Vinegar are the bottoms, so I went in the complete opposite direction for this challenge. I think I need to change my expectations because I clearly am off. It says that Coco wins the challenge and she chooses to eliminate Kate. Kate being out at this point in the competition is also pretty interesting to me because I feel like the judges like her a lot and I don't think they would put her in the bottom at this point. I think they'd want to keep her for a little bit. She's great TV. Next up, we have a side hustle maxi challenge. So this is acting, parodies, commercials, the same one that they did in All Star 6. I mean, in my fantasy, I'm seeing Camden as the top for something like this because she is such a great actress. So I'm already putting her in the top. And I see Kate being so good in something like this. I think she's got that sort of like, hey, you want to buy something type vibe. And I think that she would be able to do a side hustle well. I think Dita would struggle because that was her struggle point in season 4 is acting. And I see Vanity struggling as well because she struggled in her acting challenges. Between these two, because it is Camden and Kate in the top, it really could go either way. But I think that at this point in the competition, it would be like Vanity hasn't really made a splash. She's already had a couple chances. I think it'd be more likely that she would go home than Dita, purely because I think that Dita hasn't had any opportunities, and I think they would recognize that. This is so late in the game, but this, in my world of how I'm judging this, it's not gonna be separated by teams like Team America did better this week or Team UK did better this week. Everyone's judged individually. I think that is a more fair and interesting competition than just saying, you as a team, you win, because eventually what we end up getting is season 11 of Project Runway where they did the teams, and the one team was so overpowered and had so many people on it by challenge 4 that they had to redistribute the teams just to get them to be in teams again because the team B was losing people every single week. I think that makes an unfair competition. And it would suck to have 6 American girls and only 3 UK girls by this point if that's how they were running it. So we ain't doing it that way. The simulator is saying that Camden and Coco are the tops. God damn, I forgot about Coco Montrese. She would certainly struggle here. Fuck, I forgot how bad Coco is of acting. You know what? She might be really lucky that Dita and Vanity are here in this universe because Coco is also pretty awful at acting. It says the bottoms are Dawn, Veronica, and Vinegar, which all makes sense to me. They have to lip sync to Right Stuff by Vanessa Williams. Throwback to season 3. Camden wins and chooses to eliminate Veronica. That makes sense. Veronica's not a great actress. They are loving All-Star 6 because we're in pink tabletops now. This is a heart-to-heart, a genuine connect with the camera, connect with each other, give us your soul type challenge. Who's good at that from this group? I think that Camden very likely would be up there, and probably Cara. Cara can just talk. She's got the gift of gab. Who would perform badly in this? I'm thinking Vinegar. And sometimes I wonder about how genuine Rosé comes off in these types of scenarios. Sometimes it is a little like, you know? Rosé has the problem that Jans have. They just don't always come off authentic. And in this type of challenge, you need to be authentic. I think Rosé comes off canned sometimes. Rosé has 2 top placements where Vinegar only has 1, so I think it's pretty obvious that Vinegar would be out here. But let's see what The Sim has to say. I've been wrong every other time. It says that Rosé and Cara are the tops. I am so off. And it says that Camden, Vinegar, and Dawn are the bottoms. I see Camden excelling at something like this and just being so real and raw and vulnerable. I don't see her flopping that bad. Hey, what do I know? It's Greedy by Ariana Grande, redemption for that song, and Rosé kisses the guest judge. Not her being Carmen Carrera. It's called a lip sync for your life, not a kissing Johnny for your life. Cara wins and chooses to eliminate Lady Camden. But that seems dark-sided. I'm gonna subtweet her. Our next challenge is a design challenge with dollar store items. Posh on a penny, posh on a pence. Do you like design challenges? Because I like them. I think they're such a great way of showing off a queen's skills. I think of this group, I still have Coco in here and I question her taste level in designs. Naomi is the clear top for me. I think Rosé is kind of up and down when it comes to fashion, so who really knows what she would do with something like that? Camden did quite well during her design challenge. Maybe Kate. I'm gonna say Kate just because I can't think of anybody else. I think the very clear one to beat would be Naomi, and I think honestly Camden as well. I'm like simping for Camden really hard, but she was that girl, and she still is that girl. The simulator says that Dawn and Dita are the top 2 of the week, with Cara, Rosé, and Coco in the bottom. Coco makes sense. Questionable taste. The song is Spice Up Your Life. Camden not being here is so despicable. Dita wins and chooses to eliminate Coco Montrese. Sad violin for Coco. I truly do think this would be Coco's out point. Our next maxi challenge is a Prancing Queens challenge. It says initially that Rosé slayed this, and I do think she's got some great musicality and rhythm and movement. I think Dita is very clearly going to do well at something like this. She has a lot of rhythm. I think that Cara would do so good in this, and I see Kate as being a very clear bottom. She has the rhythm of beans on toast. I don't want to say Naomi would be bad here because I don't think she would. She still exists in my lineup, but I also don't know if I see it for Camden either. And I think Rosé is such a strong dancer that I don't see her doing bad. So I almost feel like just by default, I've gotta give it to maybe Naomi because she's not the most dancerly. She's elegant and she's beautiful, but she doesn't have a lot of that rhythm, I think, and we saw that during the Pitch Perfect parody challenge in season 8. And I could see Kate going home here, but I could also see them eliminating Naomi just as strategy. It could really go either way. If Cara wins, I don't see her sending Kate home. If it was Dita winning, I don't see her sending Naomi home. I think depending on the lip sync, it could go really either way. I would love to believe that Dita would demolish a lip sync against Cara, that she would give her a run for her money and prove why old school drag is still so solid. So I'm gonna do a controversial opinion here and say that Kate would get eliminated. Cara would lose to Dita. And it says our top 2 is Rosé and Dawn for the Prancing Queens challenge. In Vinegar, Cara, and Taste are the bottoms. Vinegar being safe. This is wild. Rosé wins over Dawn and sends home Cara. Bye. Cancel this season. It's a flop. And we have a surprise returning queen, which is Vanity Melange. They think that she was eliminated a little bit too soon. So, you know what? I'm gonna go with what the simulator says and we're gonna return her back in. This track record is psychotic. So this week's Maxi Challenge is a makeover challenge. So I think of who is left, counting in Vanity here. I feel like Dita might struggle a little bit. I think that Naomi is a shoo-in to be the winner. So I'm gonna put her in the top automatically. And then she would have won every single makeover challenge, which would be fantastic to see. I think that Rosé is very clearly bottom here. Like, I know that we focus a lot on what Tina did to Rosé, but I don't think we talk enough about what Rosé did to Tina. They both should sue each other for damages and crimes. I feel like Camden would be fine. I feel like Cara would be fine. Vanity is the one that I'm not sure about. It's Vanity and Dita that I really don't know about. I would say just for the return and then go home of it all, I'm gonna say that Vanity would be bottom again, very likely out. The sim is saying that Dawn and Vinegar are the top two and our bottoms are Vanity, Dita, and Tace, with Tace being safe, leaving, Vinegar winning the lip sync and sending home Vanity, which makes sense to me that Vanity would go home. I don't know if Vinegar has such a strong aesthetic that she could plant that on someone else and that translate well to the runway, but what do I know? Our last maxi challenge before the finale is a ball, a masquerade ball, and I love a ball. I think of this group, it's so hard to say because we've not seen Dita in a ball. We've seen what Naomi can do in a ball, and I think that she would excel. Rosé has a lot of kind of questionable taste, and then I see the other top as being Camden. She ate up the pair of balls, and I see maybe Rosé going home because she's been in the bottom quite a bit in my timeline. How she snuck through all these challenges, I don't know. It's my own writing, and yet I'm questioning the work that was put into it. It says that Dawn and Tace are the winners of the challenge, Rosé is safe, and Vinegar and Dita are the bottoms. It says that Dawn wins in a lip sync against Tace, and I know that this is all a computer, but that's a lie. Betty. Vinegar goes home, and I think that makes sense for this universe. So now we're going into the finale where Miss Congeniality is going to be given to Veronica Green. Interesting. And our top four have to do a music video. It's gonna be Dawn, Rosé, Tace, and Dita. In my fantasy and universe, the top four is Dita, Naomi, Camden, and Cara. The only one that I got that matches up with this is Dita. And I genuinely do believe that Dita is the moment. I think that she would eat up any Drag Race competition because her budget's higher now than what it was back in 4. Because she did quite well back then. She just didn't have all the pieces to make her drag look great, and she was so green to TV. She knows what she's doing now, and she would kill it. I think of the finale that I have in my notes. The winner would either be Naomi, who's got 4 tops, or Camden, who's got 5. I think that Cara's a pretty strong contender, but she only has 3. And Dita only has 1 and 2 bottoms. She's been safe quite a bit in my universe. I think between Camden and Naomi, I personally would love to see Naomi take it because I think she is that girl. And that's who I would reward, although it would be kind of funny / ironic to see Camden win the UK versus US. Someone who is from the UK, who participated in US, and then won the Battle of the Countries. That's funny to me. You know, what a cool way that all worked out type of a way. Not like funny haha. They cut Dita Ritz at the last second, and Dawn, Tace, and Rosé have to lip sync for the win. It says that Tace had a bad lip sync, and I mean, I don't know how well she would lip sync to Chandelier by Sia. I truly see that going more in the direction of someone like Rosé. This is a wild top 3. I'm gonna say it's probably Dawn, right? It's gotta be. The sim has been so into her. Whoa! It's Rosé? To Chandelier, that makes sense, but the sim has been favoring Dawn so much in the later half of the season where Rosé kind of made her mark in the beginning. I don't know, I guess Rosé was kind of consistent in her inconsistency. She was like high then low, then safe, then high. Tace, I feel like would have been maybe a better representation for a winner. I mean, even Dawn, she started out kind of rocky and then got better, followed the Bimini route, where poor Dita just didn't even have a chance. I think she was so inconsistent in the Drag Race Sims mind. But I do think this track record of Vanity Milan is crazy. So what did y'all think? Let me know in the comments below and let me know what other Sims you would like to see for future videos. I will see y'all on the flip. My battery is dying, so I gotta wrap this up quick. Goodbye!